The year is 1165. I, Ikoma Sergietsu, imperial chronicler and historian to the Tottori line, write this history of a dark time. Not long after the accession of Tottori III to the imperial mantle, with the passing of his great and much lamented sister Tottori II, there came upon the empire a great pox. This was not a pox of the flesh, as many people would understand. Rather, it was a blight that spread across the empire, from the wall to the mountains, from the sea to the steppe. It was called by some, perhaps the uninitiated, to be Inari's blight, for it caused the rice and the other essential foodstuffs of the empire to rot within their paddy fields. It caused barley and rye to wither on the stalk. It was a dark time. The empire was gripped by 3 long years of famine, the likes of which we had never seen. The armies grew weak. The samurai starved. The great clans clashed over what scant reserves remained. This was a true test of the new emperor, the son of heaven, whom set high upon his imperial throne. However, there was one source of some reprieve. After the third failed harvest in the deep winter of 1163, the Asawa calendar, a member of the Tortoise clan, one Kasuga Noriteko, came before the imperial throne. In her hand she held before the Son of Heaven a small bottle. This bottle was no greater in size than could be measured from the tip of one's index finger to one's wrist. However, she claimed that it was an inoculation, a salve against this blight. Many scholars laughed. They believed, with all of our prayers to the kami and the powers given to our shugenja, how was it that one simple vial of an unknown substance could cure the blight? And yet, a test, yes, a test was proposed. The emperor said that in the event that this tortoise could be proved correct, that he would grant unto her any one favor under heaven that she so desired. And so it was that when once again the growing season came, the tortoise was given unto themselves any province within the empire to test this new miracle curative. This they did, and by the grace of heaven, the blight did not stir where it was a single drop of this oddity, this liquid, was poured into the waters of the paddy fields. The emperor was in shock. He did not know what it was that had been done, but he knew that if this liquid could be secured, this salve could be found, then the empire might be able to once again grow enough food in order to begin recovery. And so, once again, the Kasuga was summoned to the imperial palace, and he said that she had done everything he had requested, and that she may now claim whatever favor under heaven it was that she so desired. The tortoise stood amidst the courtiers. She looked at the mighty in the form of the lion. She beheld the haughty in the form of the crane. She beheld the secretive in the form of the scorpion, and she opened her arms wide and said, Emperor, the only thing that I ask of you on this the day that could see your empire made whole once more is for you to give fair thanks to the individuals whom supplied me with this unguent that has saved us all. The emperor stood from his throne and said, I will quite happily thank the individual whomst has granted us this blessed reprieve. Nuriteko smiled, and she said, In that case, my emperor, the name of the individual to whom you owe your gratitude is Captain Haneras Caldorez, representative of the throne. The court fell to aghast silence. No one spoke. No one breathed. This tortoise had just publicly admitted to having consorted with Gaijin from far beyond the Empire's borders. And yet, if this was indeed the case, that the Gaijin had provided the means of the Empire's salvation, the Emperor stood for a few moments, and he said, Let it be known then, as long as this, what is it called? She looked down towards the bottle in her hand, and she said, They have a name for it, I am sure, but it is long and unpronounceable. For matter of ease, I have simply begun to refer to it as, well, she smiles as she holds up the bottle so that its green liquid catches the light. I have simply started to refer to it as Inari's bounty, my lord. A shock of horror ran through the court. Such blasphemy that a Gaijin hand could elicit the blessings of a fortune. However, with a single raised hand, the emperor called for silence then. Let it be known that as long as this benefice is continued to be provided to our empire, in order to stave off this black blight that has ripped and torn, gouged and made unclean what it is we require to survive, that I will issue henceforth an imperial charter, a charter that shall be honored from this day until the last day. That he looked around the room before striding to the wall, whereupon a great map of the empire sat. And looking upon it, he said, Yes, that I shall open the port here. His hand flicked upwards towards the Mantis Isles. This will do. The port of Toshi no Inazama will be opened for the usages of trade, commerce, and other benefices with those whom would openly trade with the empire of Rokugan in peace. This is my will. This my mandate. 1,000 scribes scribbled his words. 1,000 ears listened as they were carried upon the breeze. And in that one moment, the empire, well, Some would say was saved, yet others would say sold its soul. I believe that only time will tell in this matter. And so it was in the far-flung city of Toshi no Inazuma, also known as the City of Lightning. A new quarter was built. We simply refer to it as the Foreigners' Quarter, the Nubian Quarter, the Nanban Quarter, whichever you prefer. They have many names. But trade, for the first time, in one port in the empire was opened. And so it was that we saw things and beheld wonders, the likes of which we could not have contemplated until now. We have yet to see if the wisdom of the ancestors was with the emperor when he spoke. I pray to all of the fortunes in heaven that they indeed were, for only time will now tell if we have been blessed, and if indeed, as they say, lightning can strike twice. This has been an excerpt from my imperial chronicle of the life and reign of His Majesty, the Emperor Totori III.